In a vibrant village in Ghana, nestled between lush green hills and the sparkling waters of the Volta River, lived a 10-year-old boy named Wilson. Wilson was a bright and cheerful child, always seen with a big smile and a heart full of kindness. He lived with his grandmother, Amma, in a modest house made of clay bricks and thatched roof. Every morning, Wilson would walk to the village school with his best friend, Quame. The two boys loved their journey through the bustling market, where vendors called out, selling everything from juicy mangoes to colorful kente cloths. One sunny day, as Wilson and Quame approached the crowded bus stop, they saw an elderly woman struggling to gather coins for her bus fare. Her face was worn, and her clothes were patched but clean. Wilson's heart ached seeing her. He quickly reached into his pocket and pulled out the little money he had saved for snacks. "Excuse me, ma'am," Wilson said softly, stepping forward. "Please let me pay for your fare." The old woman looked up, her eyes filled with gratitude and surprise. "Oh, bless you, child. Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Wilson handed the coins to the bus conductor, who gave a nod of appreciation. The woman smiled warmly at Wilson, and as she boarded the bus, she gave him a gentle pat on the head. Quame watched in awe as the bus pulled away, leaving a trail of dust behind. "Wilson, that was really kind of you," Quame said, impressed by his friend's generosity. "You gave away all your money." "It's okay, Quame," Wilson replied with a grin. "Helping others feels better than any snack." The two friends continued their walk to school, chatting and laughing as usual. The next morning, Wilson woke up to the sound of a car horn honking outside his house. He jumped out of bed and peered through the small window. His eyes widened in amazement. There, parked in front of his house, was a sleek, black luxury car. It was unlike anything he had ever seen in their village. "Wilson, come quickly," called Amma from the doorway. "Someone is here to see you." Wilson rushed outside, his heart pounding with excitement and curiosity. Standing next to the car was a man in a smart suit, holding an envelope. Beside him was the same elderly woman from the bus stop, but now she looked different. Her clothes were elegant, and her posture was dignified. "Wilson, it's you," the woman exclaimed, a radiant smile on her face. "I am Afia. Yesterday, you showed me such kindness. I am not just an old woman. I am the owner of many businesses in the city. This is my son, Kwiku." Wilson stood speechless, trying to process what he was hearing. Afia continued, "Your generous act touched my heart deeply. I wanted to thank you in a special way. So, I have a gift for you." She handed the envelope to Wilson, who opened it with trembling hands. Inside were crisp bills, more money than Wilson had ever seen. His eyes grew wide with astonishment. But why?" Wilson stammered. "I only gave you a little money. Your kindness is worth more than any amount of money," Afia replied gently. "And I want to help you and your grandmother. This car is also for you to use whenever you need." Amma, who had been watching from the doorway, wiped a tear from her eye. "Wilson, this is a blessing. You did a good thing, and now good things are coming back to you." Wilson felt a warm glow in his chest. He looked at Afia and Kwiku, then at the luxury car, and finally at his grandmother. He understood that sometimes even small acts of kindness could lead to big, unexpected rewards. With a newfound sense of wonder, Wilson and Quame spent the day exploring the village in the luxury car. They drove past the market, the school, and the riverbank, waving to friends and neighbors who looked on in amazement. The whole village buzzed with excitement about Wilson's extraordinary adventure. As they drove, Wilson couldn't stop thinking about how his life had changed overnight. But he was more curious about the future. What other surprises lay ahead? How could he use this gift to help others? That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Wilson sat on the steps of his home, looking at the stars. His heart was full, and he felt a deep connection to the world around him. The following day, Wilson went to school with a spring in his step. As he walked through the school gate, his classmates gathered around, eager to hear about the luxury car and the woman who had visited his house. Wilson shared the story, emphasizing the lesson he had learned about kindness and its unexpected rewards. During recess, the school principal, Mr. Asari, called Wilson into his office. Mr. Asari, a wise and gentle man with silver hair and glasses that sat low on his nose, had heard about Wilson's act of generosity and the surprising events that followed. "Wilson," Mr. Asari began with a kind smile, "what you did for that woman was very special. You showed true character and compassion. And now, I hear you have received a wonderful gift in return." Wilson nodded, still a bit overwhelmed by everything that had happened. "Have you thought about how you might use this new opportunity to help others?" Mr. Asari asked, leaning forward with interest. Wilson pondered the question. He hadn't thought much beyond the initial excitement of the luxury car and the money, but now he felt a strong desire to give back to his community, just as he had been blessed. "I want to help," Wilson said earnestly, "but I don't know how." Mr. Asari's eyes twinkled. "There are many ways to help, Wilson. Let's find one that feels right for you." Over the next few weeks, with Mr. Asari's guidance, Wilson and Quame brainstormed ideas on how to use the gift to benefit the village. They decided to start a small fund to support students who couldn't afford school supplies and uniforms. With Afia's generous donation, they were able to purchase notebooks, pencils, backpacks, and even provide scholarships for a few of their classmates. The village's children and their families were overjoyed, and Wilson became a local hero, admired for his generosity and leadership. Wilson also used the luxury car to help the elderly and those in need. He drove villagers to the clinic when they were sick and helped transport goods for local businesses. His actions brought the community closer together, and the once quiet village now buzzed with the spirit of unity and support. As the months passed, Wilson learned many valuable lessons. He discovered that true wealth wasn't just about money or luxury cars. It was about using what you have to make a positive difference in the world. One day, as Wilson and Quame were helping clean up the village playground, Afia visited them again. This time, she brought Kwiku, who had become a friend to Wilson. "Wilson," Afia said warmly, "I see how you have used your gift to uplift others. I am so proud of you." Wilson smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Thank you, Afia. I've learned that kindness can create ripples that touch many lives." Afia nodded in agreement. "Indeed, it can. And now, I have another surprise for you. I've set up a scholarship fund in your name. It will help many children in this village get the education they deserve." Wilson's eyes filled with tears of joy. "Thank you so much, Afia. This means more to me than anything." The scholarship fund ensured that generations of children from the village could pursue their dreams. Wilson's simple act of kindness had sparked a wave of positive change, not just for him, but for his entire community. Years later, Wilson grew up to be a respected leader in the village. The story of the 10-year-old boy who paid the bus fare for a poor woman and received a luxury car became a cherished legend. It was told and retold around village fires and in classrooms, inspiring young and old alike. Wilson continued to champion education and community support, always remembering the lesson he had learned from his encounter with Ophia. His life was a testament to the power of kindness and the extraordinary impact one small, selfless act could have. The village thrived, its people united by a common thread of generosity and compassion. And every year, on the anniversary of that fateful day, the village celebrated Wilson Day, a day dedicated to acts of kindness and giving back. Wilson's journey showed that in the heart of Africa, where stories were as rich as the land itself, one boy's simple gesture could change the world, one act of kindness at a time.